Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Odyssey. I am Mike Odyssey, and today we have two major topics in the world of Nintendo. The first one is Pokemon with the Pokemon Presents upcoming, and some brand new information that has rained over the past 24 hours regarding a Nintendo Switch 2. But before, here is a little bit about me if you are new to the channel. And if you are not new, go ahead and use the timestamps below to go straight into the topics. So before we get into today's stories, you see, I want to ask you one thing. I want to ask for your subscription. You see, I'm legally blind and I'm basically losing my sight as we go. I don't have sight on my left eye and I have about 40% sight of my right eye. And it's just fading away, right? The doctors right now have nothing else they can do. But I have a dream to become a full-timer on YouTube by the end of this year. And I want to ask you for your help. If you subscribe to this channel right now, it'll only take a second. For me, it'll just change my life. So if you could do that right now, I would really appreciate it. Here, we have Monday through Friday Nintendo news. On the weekends, we have products and reviews. And we also have the occasional Nintopic podcast with your favorite voice actor. So I would really appreciate it. It would mean the world to me. And I just want to thank you in advance for giving me your subscription. Let's move on to today's stories. All right, so how about we start with non-rumors, right? Actual news information that is out there. So let's go ahead and start with the Pokemon Presents, right? Because tomorrow is Pokemon Day, and today is Pokemon Day Eve. And on the eve of Pokemon Day, there is excitement in the air because no one knows what's coming unless you are following some type of leaker that leaks stuff, which I am not for, just because I love the presentations. I love when the actual company announces their games. There's more excitement in the air that way, staying away from leaks and rumors and stuff like that. And so, Pokemon Day is not like a Nintendo Direct. Nintendo has so many games announced during a Nintendo Direct. Pokemon Day is all about Pokemon, right? So imagine you getting ruined the one or two announcements we get for Pokemon Day by a leaker. That just doesn't make it fun. So that's why I encourage all of you to stay away from leakers when it comes to at least Pokemon Day, right? And so there's a lot expected for Pokemon Day. And today, the eve of the Pokemon Day, there's excitement in the air. I know a lot of you are looking forward to certain types of games, but it's also important to set our expectations on what we might see. Don't expect to see a Gen 10 game like the major game, because apparently, or, most likely Nintendo's leaving that for the Switch 2 or for the next gen system. But do expect to get some video games, remakes, ports, or something in that regard. We all know that that Pokemon Day starts with a presentation of what Pokemon has been doing over the world, around the world, when it comes to games and tournaments and all that stuff. And then they go into the mobile games, and then we see the Nintendo Switch games towards the end, see what Game Freak is actually working on. One thing that I've heard that a lot of you out there want is that patch, the patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the one that fixes all the things that need to fix. And finally, we should be seeing, or we hope to see, something regarding a patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet tomorrow, right? It is Pokemon Day. It's been, 2 years since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was announced in this Pokemon Presents 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And so I feel that no better time like tomorrow to get that patch. Of course, there are other games that will be expected. We should get a new game, like a bigger game, right, for this year, and of course a smaller game, like a patchy little remake that has like those little TV characters on there. So let me know what you guys think about Pokemon Day. Are you excited? Are you a Pokemon fan? What was your first Pokemon game, and what game do you prefer to see a remake of tomorrow launch, and what game would you love to see for Pokemon's big game of the day? That is gonna do it for Pokemon. Let's move on to today's rumors when it comes to Nintendo Switch 2, right? Nintendo Switch 2 has been a big topic over the past couple of weeks, and I would say months, or maybe this entire year, right? Because everyone was expecting, or is expecting, the Nintendo Switch 2 to launch this very same year. And well, I am still on that boat, and I still believe that the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch this year. And so this is what I firmly believe, that if Nintendo does announce the Switch 2 this year, it is coming this year. Now, we have a new report from Nikkei. It's a reporting agency or somewhere overseas, right? I think they focus on manufacturers and stuff, but one thing to take before I give you guys this news is that these are all speculations behind the scenes, okay? And so we've learned in the past that even major media outlets like Bloomberg have gotten it completely wrong, right? And so it's important to not put our 100% of our trust in these media outlets, but to always be cautious of what we hear. And so at least in my part, I want to be responsible and let you guys know, so we can all together set our expectations, low, as low as we can. All right, so my source here is mynintendonews.com, and the article reads, Japanese news site The Nikkei, which by the way, they've actually linked back to the actual source, has published a report today stating that Nintendo is aiming to launch the Switch 2 console in March of 2025. One of the reasons mentioned for the delay from 2024 to 2025 is that Nintendo wants to make sure there is enough stock of the console to go round to prevent reselling. Another reason is that Nintendo wants to make sure all its games are ready for a solid launch lineup. The Nikkei also mentions that the console will launch could slip beyond March of 2025. All right, so this article has red flags all over it, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you just so that we can go ahead and discredit it together, because I am not on board with it one bit, and this has nothing to do with me wanting to see the Switch 2 early. It's just, it contradicts itself over and over again. So let's go ahead and break it down for you. The first thing we see here is that the article is trying to cover all of its bases, right? It mentions that the Nintendo Switch 2 delay could be related to Nintendo worried about not making enough consoles to meet demand and therefore catering to the market that resells, right? These scalpers, right? But not just that, Nintendo is also worried about producing enough games to meet, the expectation to have a good lineup at launch. And so, which one is it? Which is the delay for? You're not really being specific or being sure about it. You're just mentioning two things that we already know and have heard about to cover your bases. The other thing is that the actual report is in the way of, they know firsthand that the Switch 2 is coming in 2025. The actual report, the translation to the actual report from Nikkei says, the Nintendo Switch 2 will launch in March of 2025. It doesn't say, I've heard. It doesn't say there is a speculation. They are telling us it will launch in the year 2025 in March. But not only that, not only does it tell us that it will launch in 2025 in March, but it also contradicts itself and later says this can actually be later than 2025 instead of March. So it could actually launch later in the year past 2025. And so instead of just reporting the news, I am placing that responsibility on myself to let you guys know, and give you guys the red flags as well of an article in order for you guys to have the right expectations. I want to make sure that everyone is happy with the news and not be misled by anything, and so that's what I did with this article. I personally, this is my personal opinion here, I don't think this article is accurate. I think this article was made to fill in space. And if you ask me, the article does not make sense one bit. I want to know what you guys think down below in the description. Does it make sense to you that Nintendo might wait even further than 2025 to launch a Nintendo Switch 2 with sales dwindling down? Nintendo does not have a strong enough game lineup for the Nintendo Switch currently to carry this system all the way to the end of next year, because their first Nintendo Direct was a partner showcase, right? And so with that, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this news article? Let's continue this conversation down below. And before I let you go, never give up. Journey on. Peace.